Here's what I want to talk about today, because I know.
I don't want to talk about it.
Look, Lev Bell has not shown up yet. And so I wanted to take a second in the quick question to talk about potential scenarios and piggyback on Jason's thought that, look, James Conner's going to start another week. That's what Jason's been saying for a while now. And the trade deadline came and went. Lev, that wasn't clearly the only thing he was waiting for, because he didn't show up at 4:01 p.m. Eastern with the team. Now, I'm aware of some different scenarios. Now, November 13th is the date that I have down as the last day that he can report and still be eligible to play this season.
No, and still occur his free agent status. So
correct.
If he could show up past that, I believe, and play this season, but then he wouldn't.
He wouldn't get a year.
Right, so he wouldn't be a free agent next year. And so
it's the 13th?
Of November. That's
yes.
right. So if he now his other option, so that would, you say, okay, he wants to be a free agent, get the big money contract next year. He has to show up by November 13th. Sign his franchise tender and show up. There is another world here, a very realistic world, where he holds out the whole season. If he does that, they can the Steelers can franchise tender him again at the same rate of this year. It doesn't go up to a third-year franchise tender because he didn't accrue that status. So he would not be allowed to be a free agent. But in reality, I can't fathom them doing that. Right? I mean, it would be a black eye on them,
right,
to say, okay, Lev Bell, we're going to do what you held out from. It would take away their franchise tag from being able to actually utilize it if they wanted to use that for a player that, I mean, if they franchise tag him, do they think he's going to show up?
Well, isn't there, yeah, but there's the angle where it's like, look, we don't want to lose our power and leverage of the situation. We're going to do it again, hope he signs it, and trade him, right? Like that is an option where they could get something for him.
Sure.
But you're right. There could be, and I believe Pro Football Talk talked about this a little bit. There's a world where Lev Bell and the Steelers, behind the scenes, have a conversation. He says he's not showing up. They wink, wink, and say, we're not going to franchise tag you next year, because they don't want to pay him an extra $6 million if he does show up, because they're ready to move on. And he doesn't want to come show up, play, get hurt, miss out on the long-term deal. And they wink, wink, say, look. Now, I think that's a CBA violation. But there's still a world where that happens, where they basically say, look, don't show up. We want to save the $6 million. We're fine with Conner. We won't franchise you. Let's just move on from this relationship. And then fantasy owners that have stashed him weep into their pillowcases. And fantasy owners that took the chance on Conner around the trade deadline or moved to get him, or have been, hey, I'll take a week or two. Get James Conner a top 5 guy all year long.
Yeah, I think that's legit. So as of right now, let's just assume he shows up on the 13th. That means that Conner has 2 more weeks, this Sunday and next Sunday, where Lev Bell will not be a part of the team at all, and James Conner's a complete bell cow. That 13th date will be really telling as to whether or not he gets the rest of the season. Because if he doesn't show up on the 13th, he's not showing up. He's just, I mean...
Right, yeah, there's no reason to.
Right. And so, yeah, I have James Conner in the Listener League. I've had several trade offers suddenly come my way, and I have held on to James Conner. Recommend you do the same.
Gadzooks! You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button.